With the soon coming PvP update in TDX, everything we know about TDX and the future of TDX will undoubtedly change forever. This won't be just another update, it's a fundamental shift in what TDX is, how it's played and where the game is heading. So with the biggest update we've seen yet coming to TDX, let's look at the importance of PvP and the future of TDX. Before we begin, with me being pretty close to reaching 1000 subscribers, I would like to announce that I will be doing a Q&A upon reaching the big 1000. So if you have any questions, you can comment them with saying, for Q&A, then your question. So before further ado, let's begin. Now the significance of PvP comes from two things: the end of repetitiveness with fighting vastly different games with each player having a unique thing to offer, and TDX's own game design being really unique with the tower dying mechanic. Now for the first one, let's look at the prime example of PvP mechanic in Roblox games, Tower Battles. Tower Battles implemented PvP in such an interactive and enjoyable way. Even after many years of inactivity by the devs, the game still manages around 500 active players. Now think about it for a second. The game has about 20 towers, only one game mode to play, which is a singular difficulty. With being really old, Tower Battles doesn't offer much compared to the other tower defense games on Roblox, yet remains a visible figure among the top tower defense games. This comes from PvP. With offering a player versus player experience, the game opens for endless possibilities. And for being an inactive game, PvP carries the game hard. Now that means one thing. Up to the release of PvP, TDX always had the possibility to die out. But with the implementation of PvP, TDX has signed the waiver that whatever happens, the game straight up won't die ever. Like, it doesn't guarantee the game staying up forever, but it highly reduces the risk of the game dying anytime soon. I'm not sure if you realize this, but all games whom don't have a versus mechanic slowly phase out, because whatever happens, you eventually run out of content. A game can be really replayable, and that makes the said running out of the content problem take longer, but eventually there won't be any content left to play with. But a multiplayer game doesn't have this problem. Even really old games that have a multiplayer, specifically a versus option, just doesn't die out. Whatever happens, there will always be more to experience. Now let's switch to the second topic, cause I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself. The second point I want to mention is the continuation to the first point, it being that TDX is unique amongst tower defense games. As I said, PvP gives the game an edge to never properly die out, but TDX having a tower death mechanic gives it an edge over any tower defense game. Normally the PvP system functions with both players playing a standard mode, while having the ability to send the other side enemies, thus making their job harder. This can affect the opponent in two ways. First is the obvious, being enemies having HP that the opponent has to deal with, and the second being some enemies doing some special stuff such as stunning towers. For more in-depth things, there are towers that perhaps could send enemies to the other side passively, just like the anarchist from Tower Battles, or sending the other side debuffing stuff with lowering range, stunning them, or even stuff like lowering DPS, which can be implemented with tower abilities or power-ups in TDX's case. But there's one thing, no other game allows tower death in their game. This makes so rather than stunning or temporarily debuffing an enemy, your abilities or your sent enemies have the power to kill your opponent's towers, thus giving the PvP a whole another depth compared to the other games. The constant death of the towers and the variations of healing towers we have are going to make the PvP mode much more interactive and interesting compared to the other tower defense games. Now I also want to talk about my predictions and how PvP could be implemented in TDX. As I said, there's a tower death mechanic in TDX, so we may have some custom enemies to send to the opponents rather than just having the normal enemies to send. And as far as we've seen, there's going to be a shop to buy enemies to send in the lobby, so we may see some enemies exclusive to PvP. Also, it seems we are going to get PvP exclusive power-ups, which will be a great addition to PvP compared to the other tower defense games. And the separation of regular power-ups and PvP exclusive power-ups are great for balancing reasons. With having custom power-ups to use, we won't have a pay-to-win power-ups such as the Moab or the Nuke in PvP. Power-ups are already limited on use, even disabled in some maps or game modes, so adding them to PvP most likely make them either really good or really bad, and balancing them out would be horrible. So adding exclusives are really a good choice. On top of that, there is the possibility of having sabotage power-ups to send on the enemy side, such as abilities of the anarchist from Tower Battles, which could work really well. And for the gameplay improvement the PvP mechanic will bring, the grind we will have will become more interesting. The problem that we have with the grind right now is it being too repetitive, so I think the addition of PvP will either fix or improve the problem. And with John working with the developer of Tower Battles, Planet Earth, we may have stuff you can only buy with PvP wins. I'm sure most of you know, but if you don't, you can buy 2 towers only with having wins in Tower Battles. being Golden Scout and Golden Commando, which will already have a system to buy Golden Towers, so adding Golden Towers to PvP only doesn't make sense. But we can have custom rarity for new content with being PvP exclusive. Right now we have the Gold and the Crystal Towers, but we can also have a PvP exclusive towers, power-ups, or skins to reward players more and to push them into playing PvP more. So overall, in my opinion, having the PvP mode in TDX is going to be the single best update ever to be added to TDX. I hope they implement it in a way where it works and doesn't overlap the already existing grind we have. But with working Planet Earth, I am assuming best from the TDX team. And with that, now let's move on to the closing thoughts section. But before we go, Q&A y'all. Q&A. I already said it, but I need interaction from y'all to make a Q&A. So if you have any questions, make sure to ask me them by saying, for Q&A, then your question. Let's start with the closing thoughts now, the unscripted thoughts section to close the video. Now with PP going to be added to TDX, I am both excited and concerned about things because, as I explained in the video, PP may be the best thing to be ever added into the TDX gameplay wise, because whether you like it or not, PP genuinely, not really genuinely, because a game always has the option to die out if they do stupid shit. But versus games or interactive games have a really high possibility to not die out or die out way further into their lifetime. So having PvP is like a golden opportunity for TDX to always maintain a good player count. And for that reason I'm genuinely excited, because look at Tower Battles. The game hasn't received a singular update in like 3 years. Well, like in technicality they did with like the ice cream truck or whatever, but like the game is still in Halloween 2023. We are about like 6 months later, we are going to be 2027, and like yeah, the game hasn't been updated in like 3.5 years, and Halloween 2023 mode is the same mode used in Halloween 2021. So like Tower Battles hasn't properly got an update for like the past 4 years. Yet the game still has an active internet community for some reason. I don't really get it, but like there are Tower Battles content creators out there that actually pull great numbers, although the game has been inactive for like many years. And whatever the time frame, the game always has around 500 players. Like that is so weird. The game hasn't been updated in many years, but it still continues. What's the reason for that? It's PP. Because like goddamn, I don't know how you can make that, but Tower Battles is such an amazing game. Like it has only one game mode, but like that game mode is so well balanced. It's so fucking amazing. It has 20 towers. Perhaps not 20, I didn't really search that, but I am assuming about 20 towers. And like besides 2, perhaps 3 towers, nearly all towers actually function pretty well, and like they have a place in the meta. With working with Planet Earth for both Tower Battles collabs and literally taking the PvP idea from Planet Earth, I am assuming John and the TDX team could actually bring up something really well designed into TDX. But besides my excitement, there's also things that they can fuck up really bad. Like we already have a bad grinding problem. At the best worst case scenario, PvP just doesn't fix the problem of grinding, which isn't optimal because the grinding has been a problem for practically the beginning of TDX. But like at worst case scenario, PvP can ruin grinding. PvP can fuck up a lot of things, because in PvP there's going to be a shop, as John showed us, where you can buy enemies to send in the PvP match. If they put some absurd prices to boss, for example, like to send out Alpha Predator into the match, you need to buy like $100,000 gold Alpha Predator off lobby. That would be stupid. Yeah, the PvP shop should have some grinding for people to, spend their time on buying towers, and not for people to spend time on buying enemies. But like if they make the grinding for the said buying enemies thing, it would be absurd. Like it shouldn't be too grindy. I don't know. It has to be made in such a way where it is really good, otherwise it's going to be shit. And like the PP game mode as well. Like it has to be made in such a way for the function, because like look at Tower Battles. I am bringing up Tower Battles so much because like the PP mode that we have in Tower Battles is like the best balanced thing ever to exist on this planet. It's like so well balanced out, it functions so well, and like I hope they make something really good. I am actually really hopeful they will, because they are working with Planet Earth, the guy behind fucking Tower Battles. I genuinely, sincerely hope that they do something good, because if you look at the past like couple of months, not really couple of months, past half a year of TDX, the game has been shitting itself. Besides the nightmare mode, like we have it like 3, perhaps 4 events. all of them are shit. The shops that we have are shit. The new towers that we have are either unbalanced, extremely overpowered. PvP has the possibility to end the downward spiral of TDX that has been happening for many months now. So sincerely, please do not fuck up big PvP, because like PvP is like, I hope they make it good. And for the grinding, I'm assuming PvP will both bring crystals and gold into winning, and like I hope they make it worthwhile, because in tower battles, like I love tower battles PvP, but like whether you win by spending 10 minutes in the game or spending an hour to beat the void, you get 110 or like 125 coins per victory. That's like stupid. A win that takes 10 minutes and a win that takes an hour shouldn't reward the same thing. So I hope TDX doesn't do that shit. Like if you win in the early game, for example, you get like 2000 gold. But if you win by spending like an hour into fucking game, you should be rewarded with like 10,000 coins or some shit. Perhaps 10,000 is a little too high. I'm just giving examples here, but like they should make the rewards actually worthwhile. I'm assuming they will also reward crystals in the thing, so like it won't be an only gold option. I don't know. The rewards could be well implemented. With the possibility of having PvP exclusive items, PvP could really work, because I am really happy about, or like let's say excited about the possibility of PvP exclusive items, because Golden Scout and Golden Commando are like, holy shit, that is such a good way of getting a tower. You need a lot of experience and you need a lot of time spent, but like those time spent are not grinding. You are actually spending the time playing the game against other people, improving yourself while you're doing it to get a golden tower. That is such an amazing thing tower battles did. We can have that. They can either, like there's two options in my opinion, or like maybe they can implement both. We can either add exclusive stuff like exclusive skins, which I hope sincerely they do, because holy shit, that's such a good idea in my opinion. We can have exclusive towers, which is also a really good opinion, but like I hope they make it balanced, because tower battle TDX doesn't really do good balancing in my opinion. Or exclusive power-ups, which is a lesser idea in my opinion, because like fuck power-ups, who uses them? Like we all use power-ups, yeah, but like they aren't that impactful to the game. So like adding a really difficult power-up to get, like a nuke for example. When was the last time you used a nuke? You do not use nukes. Like nukes are things that you use for challenges. I have like 6 nukes, but like whenever you use them, it's either not necessary or just you're unable to use a nuke because the set game mode or the difficulty or like map doesn't allow power-ups to be used. So yeah, it's not that worth it to use like high-end power-ups. So I hope they do not really end a high-end power-up, because we do not need a high-end power-up. And like the second idea that I had is them bringing back the event towers as PvP exclusive things, and like that is such a good idea in my opinion. Adding event towers back as crystal towers was a good idea, but they didn't do that. We have the commander as a crystal tower. It's meh. You need to pay 10,000 crystals to get the commander, which is stupid, and like it doesn't fit in the crystal shop in my opinion. We can add the older event towers as PvP exclusive things. In my opinion, that's a really good place that they can fit the already existing event towers. So yeah, overall, before I end things, I sincerely hope the update is good. I genuinely am really hopeful for TDX. For many months now, the only thing that I've been and a lot of TDX content creators have been covering are how this update is bad, how this new tower is bad, how this thing is bullshit. Please, John, please TDX team, actually pay a lot of attention to what you're making. Please, we need something good. It's been many months. So yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching, and like reminding you again, if you watched all the way to here, Q&A. I want to do a Q&A, and for me to do a Q&A, unlike all the other videos of mine, I can't just create questions and ask myself. I need people's interaction to ask me questions to make something, you know. So please, if you have any questions, ask them. Like say for Q&A or fuck for Q&A, bro. Just ask me questions, okay? I want to do a Q&A and I find the idea of a Q&A really amazing, so ask me questions. Anyways, again, thank you for watching. I was your host HD, and see you later.